I don't even drink much, but for some reason, I'm really craving an Angry Orchard hard cider right now. I'm not sure why. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, there was a really confusing trailer that dropped for Jason Universe Sweet Revenge. And people were wondering, what is this? Is this a new Friday the 13th movie? Is it part of a series? Is it within continuity? Who knows what it is? But ultimately, what it came down to being is a glorified alcohol commercial. Now, having said that, Sweet Revenge is now up online. I will link it down below. I have the video right here. I'm not going to play the entire thing. I'm not going to react to it because I don't want to deal with copyright BS. I'm just going to talk about what we got. So go into this video assuming that you've already watched it. And I would say go ahead and check it out. It's only 15 minutes long. And then come back to this video because I'm going to just kind of dig into what we have here. And I'm not going to be too overly critical or anything because at the end of the day, this is just a commercial essentially, but it is giving us an idea of what the new Jason is going to be like. I don't think that this is meant to be canon in any way, shape, or form. Who knows? I could be proven wrong in the future. I think of it more as like a template or a proof of concept or them putting a short film out into the internet to see how fans react to it, and then they will make adjustments as time goes on when they eventually give us some kind of movie in the future. As of right now, with the whole reboot of Friday the 13th and Jason Universe, whatever they're going to call it, the only confirmed product that we really have is the upcoming Crystal Lake television series that will be streaming at some point next year. So beyond that, we have this, but the unique thing about this is that this does give us our first live action, again, kind of proof of concept of what Jason Voorhees is going to be. And also, who knows, they might choose the director of this short film to do the live action movie if they go that route. I have some pros, some cons. Overall, I'm trying to give it a little bit of leeway because it is just a short film. It is just a commercial for Angry Orchard, which isn't that bad. I'm not even an alcohol person, but it's actually not that bad. Anyways, we go through the motions here. We have a group of characters that are heading towards Crystal Lake, of course, to hang out. It doesn't look like they're camp counselors. I don't really know what they are, but we have one main character here who is in a relationship with another person that's in the car that is sort of the foundation of what the short film is, and that she's very excited to be in this relationship with him, only to discover certain things later on. So I like the opening here. They use a lot of 80s synth, which may be overdone today. I'll grant you that, but with Friday the 13th, it kind of works. It reminds me of Friday the 13th Part 3 and the opening credits and that sort of thing. So it doesn't bother me too much. But I do agree the 80s synth is a little bit overplayed these days. But I like this opening shot of the car driving up and seeing the lake in the distance. It's kind of how I would imagine filming a sequence of characters arriving at Crystal Lake. So I do really like that. And this is where we get our product placement galore. So yes, this is in collaboration with Angry Orchard. And not only does the Crazy Ralph character eat apples the entire time. That's his thing. But look what she's holding. An Angry Orchard right there in her hand the whole time. Yeah, it doesn't get as bad as it does later. Like, look at this. She's got an apple. Where's this shot? Yeah, she's holding an apple in one hand, the Angry Orchard in the other. It's like, but it gets worse when she goes to the lake. So she's talking to her boyfriend here, and then she goes to the lake by herself, and there is this insane close-up shot. Like there, you could see it perfectly. You could see the logo of the cider, and then there is a close-up shot. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my God. Oh, why? Why? Friday the 13th. What has happened?
Contract or no, I will not bow to any sponsor.
I get it. It was probably part of, to get this even made, to be able to put it out there, they probably needed that little extra collaboration, sponsorship, funding, but my God, this is what it's turned into. This is our first return of Friday the 13th of Jason, is literally this. It's like...
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
First time we're going to see Jason in live action since 2009. What is that, 16 years later? Something like that? Somebody could have been not alive the last time Jason was in live action, been born, and is now driving a car in the time that we've seen Jason. And his first reveal is in this commercial. Now, okay, with all that said, the second half of this is pretty fire. So she goes out on the canoe, and at some point here, Jason grabs her and pulls her underwater. But then the next shot that we get is her coming back up out of the water, and it's all of a sudden nighttime. And this is kind of strange and kind of confusing because obviously she wouldn't have been able to be underwater for hours at a time. I think you would die. I mean, I've never drowned myself, but I think that's how it works. But later on in the short, spoiler, she manages to survive being stabbed in the gut by Jason's machete. And I get that we take liberties with characters surviving, especially when they're main characters of something. But then I thought about this. What if they are implying that the lake itself has some kind of resurrection property? This is the Ra's al Ghul Lazarus pit. Like, are we assuming that? Because Jason drowned, and in the original lore, it's a little bit ambiguous, a little bit confusing, but you assume that he got out and then survived in the woods until part 4, and then he didn't really become zombie Jason until part 6. That's kind of like the universally understood canon. There's people that disagree, but I think most people agree that Jason is a human in 2, 3, and 4, and then doesn't become the zombie Jason until part 6. There are people that disagree, but this, because it's a new continuity and a new canon, at least I don't know if the commercial itself is supposed to be included in that, but if this is giving us a little bit of an idea of what they're going for, does this imply that if you die in this lake, then you are resurrected in some way? Now, she comes out and she doesn't seem to realize that she might be dead. But they do like the makeup effects on her. Like they give her very, very dark circles around her eyes, and she stays drenched and wet the entire time. I mean, I get she came out of the lake, but what I mean is, like, are they implying that she's sort of the same thing that Jason is? Which is a strange thing to throw in there. And it's not too in your face. It's never explained. This is all just thinking about it, but an interesting idea to implement if you're doing a reboot of Friday the 13th, to say maybe the lake itself is cursed or haunted or has some kind of mystical property, and maybe that's the reason why Jason came back. I'm probably thinking way too much into a beer commercial than anyone ever has, but that's just what I'm going with right now. She finds a couple of bodies, which is classic Friday the 13th stuff. The reveal of the apple jammed in his mouth, and the makeup effects look good. Then she comes back to her cabin and she sees the boyfriend that she was talking so well about in the beginning is now cheating on her, making out with another girl. So that's no good. And then we get our first look at Jason here. So even though she may or may not still be alive, who knows, Jason still comes after her. We get a look at the mask. And I'm going to say this. Here it looks fine. In this shot it looks fine. This is actually a pretty gnarly kill. This is way more violent and gory than I thought they would have on a YouTube short. I don't know if I can show this real quick. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's amazing. That looked great. All of this is good. So this is why I'm kind of flipping my own script here, is because all of these Jason kills, this whole sequence is really good. I'm not going to lie. The Weed Whacker kill is good. There's a shot where Jason grabs, I don't know what it is. It's like a cookie cutter or something on the table. Yeah, whatever, and shoves it into this girl's face. This is where she takes the machete out. But this is good. This part is really good. And it makes me kind of excited for what we could get as far as Jason goes in the future. Like, despite this being a glorified commercial, when it came to the Jason scenes, I do think they delivered. So she escapes with the girl that her boyfriend was cheating on and then stabs him. I probably would have gotten a little bit farther away before I did that, to be honest. But, I get it. But then comes the shot that I don't like. And this is where we see the new Jason design in all of its glory. And I gotta say, there's something that feels off about it. I might not be able to tell from my video with it being small, but if you watch the actual short, the mask still looks bad to me. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but I don't think it looks very good. And here, it really doesn't to me. It looks too big on the actor, first of all. And I just don't like the sort of unibrow look to the red mark on top of the mask. I think it just looks a little wonky. And I just wish they had it look as close to the original hockey mask as they could. I get that designs are going to change over time. And look, if you gave me a great Jason movie and this just happened to be the mask he was wearing, I mean, I survived Halloween 4. I can survive this, but I also feel like now that we are in 2025 and much more awareness is given to the look of these characters, I feel like we can change the mask up and do a little bit better with it. I don't know. But anyways, Jason faces off against the main character here, and then it cuts to black, and that's the short. So at the end of the day, it's nothing too special, but if this is sort of a, let's say, proof of concept, an idea of what future Friday the 13th could look like, the setting looked good. The 80s synth music, I'm a little bit 50-50 on, but overall not that bad. The kill sequences were fantastic. And as the first return of Jason in this many years, it's at least nice to see. I just hate that it has to be like this. I wish that we could get an actual confirmed movie. And I know they say they're working on it, but until something is greenlit, until something is official, I take all of that with a grain of salt. I mean, how many times have we heard movies are going to come out and then they're canceled behind the scenes, or they don't happen, or people say, yeah, it's going to happen, and it never does. So I'll hold my breath on that one. But as far as the short goes, I think it's fun. I think it's got some good stuff in it. It's got great kills. It is nice to see Jason again. And man, am I thirsty. I think I might head to the store and pick up a 6-pack of Angry Orchard. You should get one too. If Angry Orchard wants to sponsor me and send me money, I'll do more ads. But until then, this is the only one you get. Anyways, guys, tell me what you thought of the Sweet Revenge short down below. Leave all your thoughts and opinions. It's a strange scenario that we're in right now. That's all I have to say. But thanks for watching, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. I'll talk to you next time.